Ms. Fox will now deliver the commencement address.
Well, this is what I call a good afternoon. Here we are, class of 2026. Deep breath, right? It's graduation day. I imagine it feels like you just started your journey at Loyola, and somehow we're at graduation day. I know the feeling. While I may have graduated 25 years ago, it feels like I was just there. Boulder Cafe, Humanities Porch, the Quad, these places still feel like home to me. And I bet they have come to feel like home for you too. But here we are. And look at this crowd. To all of your families and friends with us today, to President Sawyer, my fellow trustees, faculty, staff, and the Jesuit community who together make Loyola the special place that it is, thank you for inviting me to be with you on this joyful day. You know, a few months ago, I couldn't have imagined being on this stage. Today, I can't imagine being anywhere else. Because I know what it feels like to be sitting right where you are. Not entirely sure I was ready to leave Loyola, but knowing deep down I was Loyola ready for whatever came next. And today, so are you. Over the next few minutes, I will share 3 lessons with you. But first, I would like to celebrate you, because you are an extraordinary group of people. You entered as the largest class in Loyola's history, and it's true. When I look around, there are a lot of you here. You showed up as the smartest class ever. About 20% of you are first-generation college students. Well, hold that applause, because today you become first-generation college graduates. I'm thinking about every one of you athletes who competed at a D1 level while impressively balancing your classwork. Every one of you who participated in student government and built skills that will take you far beyond this campus. I see you. Everyone who found a family in a classroom, a club, CCSJ, or an intramural sport. And everyone who felt they built a home away from home here. After having spent time with so many of you in the past months, here's what I know for sure. You, my friends, are better equipped for this moment than you realize because of the foundation you built at Loyola. Because at Loyola, we don't just learn strong truths, we learn to live them well. Loyola is where I began discovering who I was, what I loved, and ultimately, who I would spend my life alongside. I'm so sorry. I'm just realizing that there is a page that is missing from the speech. So I'm going to just hold on for one moment because there are some students I wanted to make sure I recognized. Okay, I'm going to just flip ahead. So One quick moment, please. Okay. So sorry, everyone. While we haven't all met, I have thought about you a lot over the years. How COVID influenced your path to Loyola, and how by the time college came, you were ready to be here. Thank you. With the pandemic safely behind you, you were also ready to be together. As Reese Talbot shared with me, your first year at Loyola was defined by propped open dorm rooms and classrooms. You, class of 2026, became one of the most engaged classes we've seen in years. And with that engagement came an energy that has cascaded down to the classes behind you. You started your Loyola experience by literally propping the doors open for one another. And now you are entering a working world that may not feel as welcoming, where rapidly advancing technology is reimagining entire sectors, where our natural world is increasingly fragile, and where politics can limit people from seeing the shared humanity in their own neighbors. This is what was worth losing my place in the speech, because I'm not missing this part. Because you, my friends, are Loyola ready for all of that. I am thinking about your classmate, Ben McQueenie. Who pilgrimaged to Rome last summer and found a deeper connection to Ignatian principles in the process. Principles he told me he intends to carry forward with him into a career in medicine. I'm thinking about your classmate, Daniel Carter, who at the close of this year's absolutely amazing BSA fashion show, yes, reminded us to spread love, peace, and joy. Your classmate and McGuire scholar, Tanya Colbert, who's been waiting to cross this stage for a long time. And Tanya, today is that day. And your classmate, Julia Mikulska, who is here with us today, Loyola strong and getting stronger every day. Julia, on behalf of this entire class, our hearts are full at the sight of you here today. All right. Now we'll pick up the story where I left off. Loyola is where I began discovering who I was, what I loved, and ultimately who I would spend my life alongside. It's true. I didn't just find my life's purpose here. I found my life partner, too. It was 1999. I was a junior, being inducted as SGA president, unaware that I was following in the footsteps of my future husband, Brian Fox. Around that same time, a young lawyer named Terrence Sawyer joined Loyola as a special assistant to the president and became a mentor to me over the next 25 years. I think you know how that story turned out. Soon after I met Terry, a chance introduction from Loyola's athletics director led me to an internship working for Baseball Hall of Famer Cal Ripken Jr. An internship that turned into my first full-time job as his director of communications. From there, I joined a public affairs firm before launching my first agency at the age of 25. And after about a decade of growing that firm, I saw an opportunity to do it again, this time with even deeper purpose. Mission Partners, the company I own and lead, is grounded in a simple belief that business can be a force for good. Grounded in Loyola's Ignatian values, we don't let profit come at the expense of people or the planet. Yes. By making intentional choices and running a company in service of our values, Mission Partners has distributed nearly $3 million to historically underinvested in organizations since 2020. A reminder that small business can have a big impact. But I couldn't have imagined any of that being possible when I first landed at Loyola. You know, when I first stepped onto the campus from East Hanover, New Jersey, I didn't even think that Loyola would be where I would end up, let alone be the place that would set me up to become a purpose-driven CEO and business owner. But thank goodness for my mom, who suggested I consider this beautiful school in Baltimore with a strong humanities program. Well, Mom, who is here with us today, you knew best, as moms tend to do, by the way. Because once I visited, I knew I needed to be here. So I wrote an impassioned love letter to Loyola about why they should accept me into their communications program. Years later, to my surprise, that letter resurfaced when Dr. Donovan, former Vice President of Student Development, read excerpts from it aloud in a packed Ritz Arena at my SGA induction. Let me repeat, I wrote a love letter to Loyola to accept me. And while the embarrassment of that day subsided eventually, the gratitude for this place never has. Loyola believed in me before I believed in myself and helped me see what was possible for my future. When I stepped on this campus, I'd never have believed that I could become a Loyola trustee. I certainly would not have believed that I would be your commencement speaker. But when I stepped onto campus, I did know this. I wanted my work to matter. I wanted to leave the world better than I found it. And it was here, in classrooms, with professors, and on the edge of so much new knowledge, where I was encouraged to question systems, to think critically about how our society operates, and to examine who benefits and who doesn't, that I began to understand how I would make my work matter. And that's my first lesson for you. Keep on the edge of knowledge. Keep on the edge of knowledge. Use today as a launch pad for your own continuous learning and growth. Stay hungry for knowledge, especially as technologies and industries and the world around us keeps changing. You are graduating during a time of rapid change. But change, let me remind you, is the constant, right? So stay in constant change with it by staying on the edge of knowledge. Because believe me, if you are the person closest to the edge of new knowledge in your organization, you will become one of the most valuable members of your team. Whether it's AI or another innovation yet to be known, work to understand it through the lens of our Loyola values. Know what the tools are capable of and use them wisely. Stay curious, keep asking questions, and use that Loyola-ready education to confidently evolve with the times. Because with that readiness, you can begin to set your course for the future. I was 1 year into business ownership when someone told me I would fail if I tried to build a consulting practice that served nonprofits. Others said I should focus on corporate clients first and do good later. Why wait to make an impact, right? Why not start right now? Which brings me to lesson 2. Let purpose be your guide. Let purpose be your guide. Sometime in your next 25 years, you will face obstacles. You will come to forks in the road. You will need to decide which way to go. In those moments, when you are faced with tough decisions, come back to this place, Loyola, where you learned how to make hard decisions, where you practiced care for yourself, for others, for the community, and our greater world, where on those first weeks of campus, you opened doors for one another and for your life's purpose. Purpose is not something we discover after we accumulate success. It is something we discover along the way. Purpose is the difference between the work you do and the work you love. Your purpose will evolve. What drives you at 22 may not be what drives you at 42. But if you pay attention, if you stay ready, the foundation you built here at Loyola will show up again and again like a compass, helping you navigate through any challenges that come your way. When I graduated, the best words of wisdom I received were from my Uncle Abe, who said to make life 10% what you do and 90% who you are. What I do isn't who I am, but it's an important part of me. It is one of my passion points, alongside my roles as a mom to 2 brilliant and brave girls who are here, a partner to Brian, a CEO, an author, a big-hearted communicator, and a Loyola graduate. And today, that last one, Loyola graduate, that's part of who you are too. Just remember, who you are is not what you do. Find what you love, and it will drive your passions in life in a way that this world needs. Because here's what else I know for sure. The world needs your heart, your empathy, your intelligence, your curiosity. The world needs your strong truths well lived. There will always be forces that try to stop you, make you think you aren't ready. There will always be pressures. But when you feel those pressures, remember what you learned here and let purpose be your guide, as it has been for me. Which brings me to my final lesson. Keep holding the doors open like you did those first weeks on campus. Keep as engaged and empathetic and inclusive as you have modeled here these last 4 years. Because when you open doors and hearts and minds to others, you don't just let others in. You also experience the greatest gift this life has to offer: joy. In lesson 1, I talked about staying on the edge of knowledge, but it's not just knowledge that I credit in my success. It's also cura personalis, care for the whole person, a principle that was ingrained in me here at Loyola. By holding that principle close in every stage of my personal and professional journey, I have also discovered an edge in how to live a good and joyful life. Your life's greatest joys will not be in what you accomplish alone, but in who you share it with. So with each day that passes, and the further you get from this graduation day, I hope your spirit of radical kindness, inclusion, and empathy only get better with age. I hope you find for yourselves that getting ahead in life isn't in how many people you push out of the way, but in how you treat people, who you bring along, and who you share it with. So yes, keep practicing what you practiced here. Keep propping doors open for others. Keep modeling kindness and care, knowing that the world needs you. As you set out on this next chapter, I hope you remember the lessons I have shared with you today. Keep on the edge of knowledge, use purpose as your guide, and hold the door open for others while you're at it. You, my friends, are Loyola ready. Your foundation for a good life has been set. And you know what they say. When you're ready and set, you just go. Go do great things. Go lead with courage and kindness. Go be daring and determined. Congratulations, class of 2026. You are ready. You're set. So go and live your strong truths well. Thank you.